My name is Elena. I'm a South African lawyer and journalist, and today is May 28th. The latest lockdown regulations for level 3 have been announced and they will become active on June 1. This video serves to explain what you need to know about the movement of children in lockdown in South Africa. First of all, we're going to deal with the movement of children between co-parents or caregivers within the same district or metropolitan area. So for example, both parents live in Tshwane and the child needs to move from parent A to parent B. How do I do this legally? In order for the transportation of the child to be legal, you're going to need one of three documents. Firstly, it can be in the form of a court order explaining why the child has to be moved from point A to point B. Secondly, a parenting plan that has been registered with a family advocate, and that explains same will also do. If you don't have a court order or a parenting plan setting out why the child has to move between 2 points, you can also apply at your local magistrate's court for an order that renders the move legal. Now, such an order will look like the one in Form 3 of Annexure A of the regulations published on April 29. As you can see, I'm giving you an example of what that would look like. So you'll take this form and go to your nearest magistrate's court, and we're going to expound on how to get this order in more detail in a few minutes. The regulations also provide for a way to legally move a child between different cities or provinces or regions. In order to do that, you're going to have to be a co-holder of parental rights and responsibilities or a caretaker of the child, and you will need a permit as set out in Form 3 of Annexure A. We just looked at this permit and I'm just going to let it roll down the screen so you have an exact idea of what we're dealing with once again. Now that you know what the permits look like, I will explain how to apply for one. Go to your local magistrate's court and ask the clerk of the court or any other personnel member to refer you to the office where lockdown permits are applied for. You will have to provide the magistrate with one of three things. Either a court order that sets out why the child has to move from point A to point B, or a parenting plan that has been registered with a family advocate, or if you do not have a court order or a parenting plan, you can provide the magistrate with a birth certificate that sets out the relationship between the transporting adult and the child being transported, as well as reasons why the child has to move as set out in writing. We will now discuss moving your children to school and the permits necessary. Any child who moves between home and school will need a permit, and an example of that can be found in Form 3A of Annexure A. You'll find it on page 16 of the latest regulations. This certificate sets out that the minor attends a certain school or institute of higher learning, and the fact that the student or learner must travel between districts, metros, or provinces for that purpose. You will note that this form will contain the name and address of the school or institution and the particulars of the learner or student. How do I get this certificate? Get it from the head of the school or educational institution that the child attends. What about the person who transports the child? Let's say you transport your child to school. In that case, you will also need a permit. This time, we are dealing with Form 3B of Annexure A. The person who transports the learner or student must bear this at all times, and you will find it on page 17 of the latest regulations. How to get hold of this permit? Once again, the head of the school or educational institution should issue it, and the head may also assign someone else to do so. That's it for today. Please consider subscribing to my channel for more information on not only the lockdown but South African law in general.